Oh, right. We are back. And welcome, welcome, everybody, to Encounters. Welcome to Encounters, and it's good to have you with us tonight. It is 12:04 in the morning with Encounters. Glad to have everybody here, and hope you're having a good evening. This is the late night edition of Encounters. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. Okay, so it's good to have everybody here. We're all here, everybody in the late night. Yes, this is the way it should be in the late night, And we're going to be having Grace on. Lynette will be coming on as a guest on our show. Let's see what happens here. We got all kinds of weird things going on here. So we're going to bring Lynette on. Grace will be coming on, our spiritual counselor. When Grace gets in here, we'll have her on. And here's Lynette. Welcome, Lynette. I was having a thought that I was talking to you before in my dreams, and I really did see you. I couldn't believe it. You were talking
Did you?
about the eye and how everything. It was in my dreams. There was this eye you showed me, and all that stuff you were showing me. Do you remember?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I was. Oh, you got me confused there. I actually thought you had a dream about me there for a minute.
I really did
I
a
was like,
pretty
I
good
was in
job
your
of that one, didn't
dreams.
I? I was waiting for
No,
you to figure that out.
I was like,
This is funny.
really? Oh my God, you dreamt about me. Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know I had that impact on you. I haven't been on your show that much yet.
I know, but I
Yeah.
always can remember you have that beautiful laughter going for you, and you're just full of energy and love in your heart, and you're a real light being, in human form. Yeah,
Thank
that's really the beautiful part. Now let's see if Skip to Grace is in here. Where's Skip to Grace? Where'd she go? I hope she didn't skip out on me here. I'm gonna have to see where she is. Skip to Grace.
Oh,
She'll
that's
have to
right. We
be in here.
lost all of those likes
Wait,
that we were working towards getting you on that last one.
well,
So
that's
now we
okay.
got to just tap the screen again and get you back
Tap
up.
the screen, everybody. We need to just tap the screen, right?
We got to
That's
get
all
you
you got
back
to
up.
do. Let's see it. She's in here somewhere. Skip to Grace. Let's see here. We're just
She skipped out, Neon says. She skipped out. Haha.
oh, she's on. She's on. I just
She's
invited her
always
back
on. She's
in.
always here.
She'll be back.
Yeah.
And it's good to have everybody with us. Let's get it over 100 people here. We had we're gonna have usually late nights we get a lot of people. I love all these different things I'm seeing popping up. So it's actually this fest thing going on. I guess I'm part of this fest. Live Fest host. So they're doing a fest on TikTok, and I guess I'm part of it. I don't know, but I have a feeling that's why you're seeing all these weird things popping up.
I don't see
Um,
anything popping up. What are you talking about?
I see it on my end. It's letting me know I'm part of some fest thing that's going on throughout
Okay.
TikTok land. It's pretty crazy. I don't know much about it. I didn't really study anything. Yeah, something with the Live Fest.
It doesn't say
But I'm not.
anything on this end.
It's pretty cool. They show these like happy faces going up and X's and all kinds of weird stuff on my
Oh, that's
screen.
cool.
But yeah, good to have everybody with us. This is Encounters, the #1 UFO spiritual talk show on social media. And there she is.
I tell you, I haven't
We're
been
gonna
able to get
bring.
those eyes out of my mind's like in my out of my vision ever
Oh,
since.
Cat Mama says it's like a popularity contest. Well, if we're going for
Okay.
popularity, I don't mind doing that without ego. I'll go for the popularity of the show without the ego part of it. So yeah, if there's a popularity contest with the
The
people,
clappers. It's the
you know,
clappers. Everyone's got to
then
send
let's
clappers.
definitely get it up to 50,000 likes. You're at 3,000, so now we're gonna go for the gusto, everybody. Let's just go for it. Let's
Yeah,
make
so
this show the #1 talk show in terms of UFO discussion and information on a spiritual level, on a multidimensional level, on a lot of levels. And because we have, and because my 20 years of radio, I bring a lot of stuff to the fore table that stuff on YouTube doesn't bring. They might have their big studios and all the gadgets and all the big microphones. Who needs that? If you know what you're doing, I don't need a big microphone in front of me. All you got to do is talk right here, and people can hear me. That's what it's all about, right? It's all about coming together, bringing people together, and building an audience of people that are coming to a show where they're going to get some cosmic truth. And I've always worked in my life to make that in the media part of it something that's really important, because I studied news and journalism. And one of the things you learn in news and journalism in college is to investigate things, is to be very, very independent in your thinking. And also, you learn to want to have truthful information. That's the one thing they taught us in Pacifica Radio when I was on Pacifica Radio learning about radio and news, is that you want to be able to go into places that no one else will go into. You want to be able to bring forth information that nobody's bringing to anybody, and UFOs are very popular. And in some cases, on all the social media and even on the cable, it's become a big thing. Now, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. I mean, on things like Discovery, on History Channel, they have a lot of documentaries, sci-fi. There's a lot of channels on your TV set now you can get where there's all these documentaries. But I'm not talking about documentaries. I'm talking about live interacting talk shows on TV that talk about this stuff. You're not going to find it on CNN, NBC, MSNBC, BBC, CBS or CBC or whatever, Chinese TV or whatever you want to talk about. It's just not going to happen. But you're going to find it here because we've actually brought forth things that they're not talking about. And then again, as everybody knows who's followed my show, who's been on my show, who's watched my show, that we're going to have contact Friday night with beings or people or star people from the star system constellation Sirius. And they're on a spaceship. Now, their spaceship coordinates, I don't know what they are. But I'm also going to, tomorrow night, the pictures that John sent me, I'm going to share those photos. He's got more information about what the beings look like that are on the ship from their own planetary system. And I'm going to show those pictures tomorrow night. I'll definitely do that. We're in the transition of 2 rooms here. The meditation room is coming where I'm here. And the other room here is going into the meditation, what used to be the meditation room. So you think it's amped up now. When this room is converted, there's going to be so many crystals in this thing, it's going to be like a big antenna beaming out into space. I mean, I have big amethyst crystals. We've got all kinds of crystals. So I've got all my ET crystals in the other room. When I put them in here, folks, some weird stuff's going to happen. I guarantee it.
You guys are you're gonna be floating soon.
You're gonna definitely be
You're
on
gonna be.
another dimensional framework.
So I got a gift. I got a gift this week from my friend Elon.
Ah,
I got a gift. I got to show you guys what I got. I got this. Let me take my green screen off so you can see.
yeah.
Okay, I got
Oh,
this.
oh wow, what is that?
This
Oh
is
wow,
the Apollo 1. This is from NASA.
is that given to you because you got a ticket?
I got this as a gift from my friend Elon.
Oh, Elon, okay. You
Yeah.
know,
So,
when
and
they
I
had this,
got, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say,
I
I got a ticket. You got one of those things? Yeah,
I
I
got
signed
the
up.
ground control patch.
Huh?
Isn't that cool?
You got that from Elon?
Yeah. I
Do not
got
trust
this. I
Elon.
got
Do not
another one
trust
too.
Elon.
This is well, the stickers that I got are all stickers from different launches, different space launches.
Oh, interesting.
I got that one. I got ground control, which I
Yeah,
love.
well, you're with ground control here on Encounters.
Ground control to
This
Major
is the real ground
Tom.
control right here, folks.
I got this one. This is fun, isn't it? Look at this is another can you guys see the space launch?
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
So cool. I got another one. This one is the Challenger Apollo 1, which It's kind of fun. There's some sort of fun patches to look at.
Yeah.
This one is International Space Station.
Oh yeah, the International Space Station. That's the one that sees all the spaceships on their live feeds, and NASA tries to put the feeds down when the spaceships show up.
I know, and this
Don't they
one's
have a
really
leg now? Don't they have a leg on the space show, so they have someone always monitoring it, and they don't. It doesn't. It's not exactly 100% live now. Isn't there like a 5-minute hold off so that way they can catch
Maybe,
them beforehand?
but it's not foolproof. That's the only thing. With as much as they think they can hide it, when those spaceships come close to the space station, they might try to hide it, but they can't always do it.
They
They
can't
think
all.
they're smart.
fun. And then I got some pins, which was I gave away some stuff. I actually got a bunch of stuff. I got a gift bag. And
You
I
got a gift
gave
bag.
away everything. I gave away a bunch of stuff because all
How
my
come he
daughters.
didn't give you $1 million? He has so much money. Why didn't he just send you $1 million?
I'm gonna have to
Grace.
tell him to come on the show.
Well, that would not be a very good idea. If I had Elon Musk on my show,
Oh my
you know
God,
what?
could you imagine?
I think it would be a little bit of a problem. I think
I
Elon
think
Musk
he's
and
trying to tell us something in his own way, actually.
I would, he and I would be questioning him left and right.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, Commander, there's a lot of competition out there. Can you read what that says?
Nope.
TikTok and wars. TikTok wars.
Wars.
TikTok wars.
TikTok wars. I'm gonna make this well, listen, I gotta be honest with you. I don't feel like NASA is completely honest with us.
Wow.
Um, and so
You,
I'm
you,
like,
you,
I
you've
think it's
come to
fun
that,
and
you've
everything
come
to
to
You
have
that
came.
this.
conclusion now.
I mean, I could use this
You've
as like
come to the
a warming plate for my
conclusion
pizza.
that NASA isn't totally honest with us. This is breaking news. And I know Grace personally. This is breaking news that
Yes,
Grace has
here we
finally
go.
come to a conclusion. And then she gets gifts from Elon Musk from
I
their
hope you're
promotional department.
laughing with me, Lynette.
I'm telling you. Well, they need that,
I love
they have
you.
all that money to spend.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know, right? I mean, I don't want to show you the other items I received because I don't know if it's appropriate, but I'm just going to show you these.
He sent
And
you
Sir
on
Tug
appropriate
says
gifts, did he?
NASA could kiss my butt
and that's it for
blank with
this
lie and
evening.
stuff.
That's
Yes.
the show and tell for this evening.
He sent you unappropriate gifts, eh? Hmm?
Well,
You
I
got
don't know.
interest now. What
Maybe
did
it
he
wouldn't
send
be
you, girl?
No,
appropriate for
no,
this
you
show.
didn't tell us about NASA. You didn't tell us about Elon Musk saying he's coming to your town to visit you because he thought your paintings were really good.
Oh, yeah. He's been wanting one of those for a while, and I said no.
See?
Because he
The
wants a
truth
free
comes out.
one. He wants a free one. I'm like, nope.
No. But all kidding aside, folks, now we do have a little bit of sense of humor here on the show, which is good. Also bringing another person on here, Rains, has been waiting to get on here. I do see people.
Guys, I want to see
And this
some
is
of those
this
taps.
is please tap. Let's get 50,000
Ooh,
likes.
Reigns is
Rains,
at
welcome to the
work.
show.
Oh, hold on.
How you doing, Reigns?
Hello.
And folks, you're watching Encounters, the late night UFO talk show.
Are
Just
you
kid
on a
around a little bit, but
motorcycle
this
or are
is
you
a
at
show that
work?
really is serious. So we do really get into a lot of stuff here. So welcome to the show, everybody. I'm just really psyched up. I'm getting so amped up about Friday night. I can't wait for contact. I'm just like, this week I've been just waiting, knowing that we got John back on TikTok here, and we put the pressure on everybody, and we got them to let him back on, which is what they should have never taken him off. And I just feel a sense of gratitude towards everybody that helped push it.
I wanted to share something that happened to me last night, which I can't seem to wrap my head around.
Yeah, go ahead, Rains.
Just give me a few minutes to pull over into this parking lot so I can explain the story.
Okay, as long as you don't. Well, if you have an encounter in the parking lot and a spaceship comes down, I want you to go live with the camera so we can see it.
Reigns,
for
are
sure.
you driving an 18-wheeler?
No, it's a sweeper truck.
Oh, sweeper truck.
A
Okay,
sweeper truck,
so I heard
okay.
it. It was loud.
Yeah, I'm about to pull over now. Give me a minute.
Okay. You got it.
I'll
So
explain the story and
tonight's
then
the
hop off.
TikTok. They're having a TikTok of live celebration, Commander. So that's what all the new. So if people tap the screen, you can see that the taps are different.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like blue and they actually look like controllers
Yeah,
and
everybody tap the
X's.
screen. We have 127 people. I want to get up to 50,000 likes before 1 o'clock.
Like,
Now, you think
have
that's
you guys
impossible? I don't
noticed
know.
that the taps have changed? Like they're not hearts, they're X's and
Yeah.
O's.
But last night around 11 p.m., I
Yeah.
decided to lay down. It was my night off. I decided to go lay down, get
Hmm.
some cuddle time in with the wife and whatnot. And
Yeah.
we were both laying there for about an hour and a half. And if for some reason my phone had like a radio static noise coming out of it, and then like
Really?
yeah, it was real weird. And I looked at my phone and I couldn't explain it. I even looked at the settings, maybe like the microphone came on or something. Like I tried to
Yeah.
debunk it, nothing. So then, right when that happened, I looked at my phone. I'm like, well, that's weird. We hear like a really like radio static sounding voice saying, hello, hello, anyone there? Hello,
Really?
like through my computer speakers after my phone went off. And the funny part is, I had my computer shut down and it was on.
The computer was shut down.
Yes, and it was on when that happened.
Now, the voice was speaking English. Was obviously speaking English, correct?
Yeah, it sounded like English. Yes.
Okay. Did you even attempt to try to say hello back?
Yeah, and then my computer shut off.
Your computer shut off.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe my wire's loose or the button's loose. So I sat there for like another hour taking apart my computer to see maybe there was like a wire that wasn't connecting right or something. And then I just couldn't figure out what was causing it. It was so weird
Hmm.
because I didn't only witness it, so did my wife. And my wife's very skeptical. She's a
Yeah.
very skeptical person. And she's even flabbergasted about it.
How long did it last? When the static came in, that the first thing was the static and then the voice, correct?
Yeah, it lasted to about like 15 to 20 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes. What did it say for? Well, how long did the voice last?
It just kept on repeating, hello, hello, anyone there? Hello, hello. And I was like,
Anyone
hello?
there?
And and they weren't getting a response. Like I was like,
Hmm.
hello. So I'm like,
I'm trying.
maybe the hello was
Hmm.
like my neighbor. So I went outside, looked to see my neighbor was walking his dog, and no, it was quiet as heck.
And there was no radio, nobody with a two-way radio interfering with your computer, maybe, or I'm
No,
just trying to think of any logical explanation.
no, not to my knowledge. I don't think anybody in my housing development owns walkie-talkies or anything.
Yeah, or like a ham radio or something. So
Yeah,
this is interesting. I'm gonna chime in a little bit. So, I understand static. Believe me, I do.
yeah.
Grace is smiling and she knows why I understand static. So evidently, I don't know who this person was that was saying hello, hello, and the static came in first. I don't know if they were a person just interfering using some sort of a transmitter somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wrap my head around what it is because I want to make sure it's accurate information. So, interestingly enough, you might have heard about what happened. Maybe you were in some way watching some of my shows. We've initiated contact with beings from the star system Sirius a few weeks ago, and it started with static coming over the phone. Before we had the radio frequency stuff, it was static. It wasn't like it was a different kind of static, and all of a sudden static interfered with everything, and then we started having contact. In your case, it's different because you're getting someone saying hello, 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 speaking English and repeating themselves, and you're getting a static. So, in your case, I'm not sure what that was. And for me, I normally will have an answer for things. I find it very intriguing. I think it's a great story, and I think you really did have the experience. I just don't know. Um, if it happens again, try to document it.
Yeah, I'll try
because I
to.
have a feeling if it happens again, try to document it.
So I have a quick question for you, Rains. Do you, first of all, hello, welcome to the show. Now, did you reset your computer after you had that experience?
Yeah, I reset it, and then I'm like, all right, well, there's nothing going on my computer, so then I just shut it
Yeah,
down for the night.
yeah,
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
yeah.
and
So
it's
you had your computer off and shut down, and then you had your computer wake back up. Do you have a laptop like it closes or
it's a gaming PC. It's a desktop.
desktop? Okay. So it just woke up and
Yeah, it,
started
like
to kind of radio through your speakers
in my phone, and I have an iPhone. So
and
iPhone,
your
okay.
phone.
yeah,
Well, that's the
Oh,
thing, the phone.
interesting.
The
Interesting.
static was
Okay, I
coming.
just want to be sure because
when I first heard it, it was coming from my phone because my phone was on a charge up next on a table next to my computer, and then
Mhm.
the static started happening. I'm like, what is going on? So I looked at my phone. Maybe it was like an alert or something, and it was nothing, nothing at all. And as soon as I put the phone down, I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna shut my phone off. As soon as I shut my
Yeah,
phone off, my computer turned on.
yeah, it's pretty weird.
maybe somebody's trying to fiddle with your equipment. I mean, do you have a firewall in your
Yeah, I
equipment?
have like I'm a computer whiz kid, so like I got a lot of
Yeah,
stuff on there
So
that'll
you
keep me
know.
with them. Yeah.
So what about that
yeah. I mean,
recent update? I mean, Commander, I know you have a Samsung, and I know that in with Apple, they just did two they had huge glitches with their recent update, and there were
mhm.
two emergency updates that came through yesterday through
Well,
your phone, through the phone.
I did update my phone, but it was like during the day when that happened when I
Oh,
updated
that
it.
was something.
Yeah,
Okay, just wanted to, we always try to like rule out things before we go to the place of,
right,
communication, contact, that kind of thing.
right, or something.
So
It,
could you make out the voice at all? Was it just saying, hello, is anyone there? Or was it just static?
it kind of sounded like myself. Like it kind of sounded like myself talking, and like kid you not, we laid down at 11. This happened around like 11:15 to 11:30, so I wasn't even
Hmm.
like falling asleep yet. It takes me a good hour laying in bed just to fall asleep,
Hmm.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Very
you know,
interesting.
it sounded like me. And then like prior to all this, I just been riddled with dreams left and right. Like
Mm,
Really?
the other night, I woke up and I was. My wife was like, "You okay? You're moving around. You're like moving around a lot and all that stuff." I'm like, I can't tell if I was dreaming or if I was like experiencing reality. It was weird. I got this weird feeling of like I was dreaming, but then I wasn't dreaming.
yeah.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
then
I'm
That's
wondering if it was
interesting.
frequencies like that. Someone in the chat, I think somebody said it just now. I'm not psychic dreams. I think I might have said it about it frequencies. But I'm getting like that. I feel that it might be a couple things going on.
Hmm.
First of all, as you know, energy it travels through electronics, and we are really just right now inundated. So much going on, right? When we go into the CE5s and do the sky watch, everything is so literally the sky
Yeah,
is so full of
it's different.
things. When we have the nighttime goggles on and we can see what's happening in the sky, it's just unbelievable. The traffic in the sky, it's so crowded, you wouldn't believe it. It's hard to believe because you don't see it in the daytime.
yeah,
It's
I
just
work
everything
nights.
just seems so calm and peaceful depending on
Yeah,
where you live. Yeah, so when we do the CE5s, I mean, I call it a sky watch. Somebody just said that's a weird name. I mean, that's just the way I've always referred to
yeah.
our process. We do watch the skies. So for me, it's a
Oh,
sky
pretty much.
watch.
Yeah,
But it is a CE5, and so I mean, now are you just inquiring? Are you interested in finding out what's
yeah. That's what
this
I'm wondering. Yeah,
perhaps
I'm
might
interested in
be?
what it is too.
I'm
Yeah.
interested
It's
what it
interesting.
is because like this is that happened with the computer and the phone happened. On top of
Yeah.
my dreams have been like I feel like I'm between a dream realm and reality at the same time.
Yeah, you
Like the other
probably
night,
are.
the other
Mm-hmm.
night I asked my wife, "Did you hear me say like in Jesus' name I cast you out?" Like she's like, "No, I didn't hear that," because I think I experienced my first um, sleep paralysis. I guess it is.
Hmm.
Yep.
I felt something on my
Interesting.
legs. It felt like legs on my legs. And
Huh.
like I tried to move my legs and I couldn't move them. And I remember when I finally did get to move them, to move my knees up to my chest, I was like, "In Jesus' name, I cast you out." Like I don't know why I randomly said that, but like there's just
Yeah.
been a lot of like in my where I live, a lot of like just a lot of things happening within the last couple of weeks between
Is
my
that,
phone
are you talking about
glitching, computer glitching.
like weird things in the sky, or physically things in the sky, or what's going on?
Uh,
Like where you are.
I'm not sure there's physical things in the sky because I was off for the last 2 days, but I work night shift, so I'm always, looking up in the sky, looking for something, you
Right.
know, asking for something to present itself. And
Hmm.
it's just like a lot of this has just been happening all of a sudden, like all so fast. And
Yeah.
I used to be kind of a skeptical person, pretty big, but like between the last 3 years, I've been seeing a lot of things, I've been experiencing a lot of things that are just like, I don't know what or who is trying to tell me something, but like it's weird.
No.
Mm.
So here's what I'm getting. And again, I don't know who that voice was coming over the computer or the phone static, but I do think that based on what you're telling me, I think that you're having some sort of contact. Now, again, in terms that one thing I could say, from talking and hearing the story on encounters, I'm pretty sure you're having some sort of a contact. In terms of the English voice speaking to you or saying, or well, obviously you're the one hearing it, I would meditate and focus on Christ consciousness, get a real focus on the cosmic Christ, and I would ask that the Christed beings of light protect you. And at the same time, when you're doing that, that you go into a meditation state to go within yourself to ask who was the voice that was speaking to me coming through my phone or whatever, and ask who it is, ask where they are, who are they, are they from Earth, are they not from Earth, who are they? I mean, I think if you can focus on that part of it, I think you're going to get some answers. I think that there are answers that will come to you if you discipline yourself to focus on who they are. You have a lot of questions in your mind. So there's somebody or some buddies or a group of something that have been trying to contact you. They can speak English, obviously, and the voice coming over could be one of those. It could be Earth based or it could be not Earth based. But we don't know that. That's the only thing that I don't know, which is usually for me um, not hard to figure out what it is. But in your case, it's so intriguing because what you're telling about is some voice coming over the computer. The computer shuts down. You've had other things that you've experienced besides that, and I think you need to. I think you want to get the answers to all these crazy things that are happening, right?
Yeah,
And so I think one way to do it is to really focus on cosmic Christ in meditation. When I hear stories like this, I always give good guidance. I know Grace would probably agree with me that if you do this and focus on it for a couple of days and just meditate and ask the question within, what's going on here? And only those beings of light can respond to that question. You'll get some answers, I think.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty sure
agree
you
with
will.
that, Commander. I totally agree with that. Commander's absolutely right. I feel like with you, Rains, it's important that first of all that you ground yourself in the Christed consciousness, and that you ask when you ask, or if you ask a question, do not just ask, "Who is it? Is someone there?" You don't want to do
Right.
that because that's an invitation. you really, if your inner guidance is going to tell you, so if you have an uneasy feeling then already, you're being alerted, so
Yeah.
you don't want to ask, invite at that point. So I feel
All
Right.
like getting grounded in the Christ energy, which you already knew to do, protect yourself. If you
Yeah.
feel uneasy about it, just surround yourself with the light of the Christed consciousness and just work on that for a little while until you feel comfortable if you find it happening again.
yeah, like you know, I was skeptical at one point, and then like, I also did remember some things from when I was a child that recently just started like reappearing, and I noticed ever since I was like a kid, I had a lot of experiences with like a lot of questionable things. Like, you guys want to hear another story?
Yeah.
All right, so when I was younger, about believe I was like 6 or 7 years old. Um, Oof, I hate talking about this. Um,
If you don't want to, you don't
You
have
don't have to
to.
if you don't want to.
yeah, it's something that's like,
If
If
it's
it's
yeah,
bringing
don't
about
worry about it.
if it's bringing about vibrational energies or triggering, I would not
Yeah.
suggest to
Yeah. Don't do
bring
it.
it about again. I mean, if
We
you
don't
want to
need
talk
to.
about it, we'll be happy to listen
Yeah.
and hear you out if you really feel
Yeah.
like you want
We'll
to.
honor and respect that. You don't have to just talk about it. So that's all cool. That's cool, man. You don't have
yeah,
to do that.
from this
Yeah.
experience, I was really like a lot of people thought I was like crazy and psychotic and nuts. And, you know, obviously my parents, they had me tested. I'm perfectly fine. I'm the most sane person you can ever meet, ever. And,
Yeah.
just, yeah, it's just, once I get used to you guys a little more, then maybe I'll bring that story
Yeah.
out because it's a really,
And you know what? One of the things that we do here on this show, we never force people to share anything they're not ready to share. I'll never ever. Grace won't do it. We won't do it here. We want you to share slowly what you feel comfortable, like the story with the computer, the phone. That's an interesting story, right? That's
yeah,
something I've never heard of happening, and there might be other people hearing this story on encounters. They're saying, you know what? That's happening to me too. The static, you know, and I'm wondering now if other people are going to start hearing static on their phones, and then initiation of some sort of a contact happening. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not predicting it, but I'm
I
just
also,
saying,
I also been riddled
I've
with headaches left and right. Like,
And that's
yeah,
a lot of people have been getting headaches like with the solar flares happening. I know
solar
that's,
flares. Yeah,
yeah, I've been
yeah,
feeling ache and pains and things. But I want to just mention, guys, if in the comments, if you can just be respectful. I mean, I know that people get passionate, but just keep
yeah,
it nice, please.
yeah. And that's encounters is a place where we have to keep it. We always want to keep the vibes high here. One of the things I love about doing the show for since I've been on TikTok is we have to always be keeping the vibes up, respect each other. A lot of people have different experiences. We all learn from each other. And when I interview people and when we talk about all these different things, we've had people that had plasma beings visiting them. We have people that have light beings in their rooms. We've had people that have talked about their abduction experiences on this show. And all these shows are, if you've missed a show, you can watch it on my YouTube channel, Astro Command Spaceship News. But the thing is, everything that people talk about, you won't hear anywhere else. You'll hear it here. Hey, Kelly Flip, you'll hear it here. So people feel safe here, and that's the way it should be on this show. We don't want anybody ever not to feel safe here. And if we have trolls here or people being negative, they won't last very long on the show because the host and luckily we don't have any problems, but as a host and also my moderators, they'll just be blocked out of the ability to watch the show forever. So we try to
That's
keep
right.
everybody
said
in a good
Will,
place here. And that's why Range can come up here and feel safe because we don't want anybody talk down at anybody else on our show. Just,
Absolutely. And I want to say
you know,
this quickly. I don't want you to right away go with that it's a spirit entity or
oh
something.
no, of course not.
Don't go there right away because there's no,
right.
all of this really has to be looked through, through thoroughly. I think the thing is everybody jumps to conclusions right away. and we want to be, we're excited. We jump on it and go, hey, this is, it's that, it's this, and we
That's
make a
right.
Yeah, I'm not
decision
saying
right
it's
away.
anything like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to
just
research into it a little bit.
I
Maybe it's
think
like,
you're on the right track, Rains. I do. I think you're on the right track.
I
I'm
think you
glad
are
you
too.
joined
Yeah.
us tonight.
thank you.
You know,
Oh,
And
by the
you're
way,
and
Will
welcome
has a
here.
question for me.
I think,
Yeah.
and it could be, I'm not leaning towards that. I'm not the other, part of me, because I've been a contactee since the '60s, so I know things are real, and we're having contact too. So I think it could be a test. It could be extraterrestrial. That's testing to see if you're responding. I don't know yet. I'm not totally sure. Usually I'm pretty right on the money, but I'm not going 100% yet. I think you're going to do the work. You know what to do. So you're going to just do the
Yeah.
Christ meditations, focus, and find out what's going on, and you'll know more than anybody else, because it's your experience. You'll, in the interaction using the Christed meditation, you'll be able to find out who it is, or who they are. I'm not getting spirits. I'm not getting that at all. But I just don't know whether it's somebody coming through with a solar sun blast, somebody coming through with a computer
It's
and
just,
just coming through your computer, or whether it's an extraterrestrial communicating.
I don't know
It's
what it
that's
is,
the thing.
but since I was a kid, I always felt like I wasn't part of like this world. It's just,
Hmm.
I don't know what it is, but I just feel like I am not part of this world.
Hmm.
I feel like it's just,
You're in the right place.
Yeah, in the right place.
I feel like I'm
Nobody
not
here
part of this
feels
world.
that way.
Yeah, we're the
There
same
is one
way.
thing that
We're the
happened to
same
me.
way.
There's one thing that happened to me as a kid, which I asked my parents about because I recently remembered it, and they didn't either confirm or deny what I was asking. And I remember when I was a child, I was taken to this place to where I was brought into this lab, and these people in all white suits, like all white hazmat suits, had like this little slither of glass. It was weird. This little slither of glass, and what they did is they pricked my finger and took a sample of my blood.
Hmm.
And I just recently remembered that. And I asked my mom, I was like, yo, mom, dad, what was that all about? They're like, don't worry about it. It was nothing major. Just don't worry about
Really?
it. Yeah, I'm like, how can I not worry about it? It's terrifying. Like thinking about that is terrifying. Like
And when did that happen, Rains? What
I was
year?
about I was about 6 years old.
Now, am I understanding that? Okay, so explain where you were when these people were wearing these white outfits. Can you
It
explain where
was
that was?
it was just a lab. Like just like a lab. Like I can't
A
really remember it
lab.
vividly. Like it's just like we walked into this building. My mom signed some paperwork, and then I was taken into this room where they were wearing all white hazmat suits, and they had like this. It looked like a shard of glass.
Hmm.
So when they pricked your finger, it sucked in a little bit of the blood into the vial, and then they stored it.
Did
Hmm.
you have surgery as a child? Somebody was asking in
Yeah.
the comments.
Yeah. People are asking.
Rains, did you have surgery as a child?
I did have a tonsil removed, but my tonsils weren't
Hmm.
removed till I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
It's
Interesting one.
interesting that they were wearing hazmat suits in a hospital.
Yeah.
That is
Right.
really weird.
Right.
In a
Do you
hospital,
know what your
how
blood
many
type is,
hospitals?
Rains?
I am O negative.
Oh, negative. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm O negative, yeah. And I just like I don't know if it was anything serious, but it was just like I was just driving around one night and it just popped right. Just the memory just popped out of nowhere. I'm like, I really remember that happening. Like, what was the point of
So
that?
Divine Light Code is asking, did your parents work for the government or military?
That's a good question.
Not that I know of. I
No,
mean,
Okay.
not that you know
my,
of.
my dad's been an electrician his whole life, and my mom's worked in Walmart. But I don't know because like from the age
Yeah.
5 and below, you don't really remember much.
Right.
So
Yeah.
This
And
is
that's a
getting interesting.
specific memory too. And I think we've heard that before, Commander. Don't you think we've I know I've heard that before from
Yeah.
other people,
You
from
know,
other
and
contactees.
parents, this is interesting because the parents that you mentioned, one works at Walmart, the other one's an electrician.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Okay. So maybe they are doing that work, and maybe they are involved in other stuff that they don't want you to know about. And again, I'm not jumping into saying that's the case,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
what gets me is the hazmat suits in a hospital.
Like I remember it. I don't even know if it was a hospital or not. Like I just
Yeah.
remember guys in white hazmat suits taking my blood sample. Like
You see,
it
that's
was
the
weird.
thing that's the thing I think people watching this are saying to themselves, that's kind of a weird thing. Because when you go to a hospital, any hospital in a city or wherever, you don't encounter people putting you in a room with hazmat suits on wearing white hazmat suits.
I was never a
Did you
sickly
find that
kid.
kind of
Like
strange?
I was never a sickly child ever.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
I was healthy since day one until I had to get my tonsils removed,
There you
and
go.
that's it. But
And your parents said you were not to worry about it, correct?
yeah, like don't worry about it. It was nothing major. And just don't worry about it. They were very passive about it.
Very passive.
And I'm 30 now, so I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
No, you're an adult now. I mean, Truly Angelic says she works in the healthcare area and hazmat is rare. So she's saying that they wouldn't wear, you wouldn't find people in a hospital wearing hazmat suits with a
yeah,
patient.
like I said, I don't know if it was a hospital or a doctor's office or what, but I just remember the guys in the white suits
Yeah.
with a vial taking my blood. That's it.
So it might not have been a hospital. They could have taken you? When you were taken, were you in an area where there were a lot of buildings, or just what was it like?
From what I remember, it was just a building by itself. There was no neighboring stores or nothing. Like
It was just out in the middle of nowhere, correct?
I wouldn't say in
Kind
the
of.
middle of nowhere, but yeah, it was pretty secluded from
Mm.
everything else.
When someone's saying that you could have been a government test subject, even though your parents were very passive about it, your parents intrigue me. I have a feeling that
To be
they
honest,
know.
I always thought that I was a government experiment. I don't know. It's like I'm
Yeah, I
always
think
saying,
your parents.
I'm like, I swear I was a government experiment because of
Mhm.
like, there's nothing else that would explain that. And I
Yeah.
even tried researching what that could have been. Like, why was that done during them years? I was born in 93 and I was 5 when it happened. So that's
Hmm.
what, 97, 98?
Um, You know what? I think your parents, I don't know why I'm thinking this. The more you talk about your parents, I think at that point, and I think they know a lot more than they're telling you. I think your parents either have a connection with the government on some level. I don't know why, but I keep feeling really strongly now that that's the case. They'll never tell you. They're not going to tell you.
Give me a minute. I
But
got to
I am
buy
really
something.
feeling strongly that that's what it is. Like their front covers, he's an electrician, she's Walmart. They're not just he's not just an electrician, she's not just working at Walmart. That's a cover. I think they are connected with some part of the government, and the hazmat suits really, and a building all by itself, putting the puzzle together. I think they are government people. Yeah, I think your parents work for the government. Yep, they work for the government. That's what I'm getting. It took me time to figure this out, but I really do think they work for the government. They're never going to tell you. Oh, what happened to Grace?
I'm here.
Okay, good. I was thinking maybe. I hope Rains is still here. Rains, are you still here? Rains is here.
I just had to go inside this convenience store to use the restroom.
Oh, no problem. So, Rains, I've come to the conclusion that your parents work for the government. They are these jobs are front jobs, and they do it very well. That's why they said don't worry about it. That's why they were passive. I don't know. They're never going to tell you. But I'm
Exactly.
really tuned in that now that's what they do work for the government, or they did work for the government, or they still do.
Anchor Ann is saying, "Oh, brother, please be careful, Commander."
No, I gotta speak the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. What we're gonna
You know,
do,
maybe
hide?
for me to be careful. Are you kidding me?
I
Have I
mean,
ever been
from
careful?
what I seen in my dad's pictures, like when he was younger, he was pretty ripped. Like he wasn't really a sportsy guy, so like I don't know, it's weird. Like
Stuff's coming back to you. That's the thing that's interesting is that, sometimes in life things come, they get kind of suppressed. And then all of a sudden, you get like these memories start like emerging. And so keep a journal,
Yeah,
start writing stuff down in a journal.
absolutely. Yeah, no,
Bad stuff.
all right, yeah, but it's just like I don't know. I always felt that way. Like I was
hmm
just part of something bigger for some reason.
yeah.
There is.
Well,
There
you
is
are.
something bigger.
There is something
Absolutely.
bigger. Yeah, you're, you're definitely more than just what you think you are. And your parents, I I can't get away from this. They definitely either worked for a level of the government that deals with something that is not usually very public. You know, yeah, they definitely probably still have connections with the government. That they're
Well,
good at keeping a secret. Your parents are
yeah.
really good at keeping a secret. I'm tuning in on them a little bit. Yeah, they're very good at keeping a secret, and they can blend in and act like regular people, and they do. But yeah, the fact that the hazmat suit with the white suits on in the building, that is government. They took you somewhere, and that is government. And you're right that you felt like you were being kind of experimented on for
And
whatever reason.
so
But
didn't the,
yeah,
the parents at one point, Commander said, oh, don't worry about it, which is kind of like
yeah.
almost
Why would they say
a
don't worry
little
about it?
telling.
Right. Tell a kid, don't worry about it. And then you have all these people in hazmat suits. Doesn't anybody think that's kind of strange on encounters?
Yeah,
Why would you do that
definitely.
to your
Out
own
of
kid?
and
Nah.
also out of curiosity, when I remember this, I went and got my medical records from the hospital, and I don't see anything from that time frame from when I was 5 about me getting blood work done.
Really?
Nothing.
Now, isn't that strange? No records found. Yet he did have it happen. There's no records. What's going, one has to, that's again solidifying what I'm saying, that your parents are definitely people that worked or are still working with some level of government agency. And I'm still trying to piece together why they brought you to this facility and had that done. There was no need to do that, right? There was no need for you to go there, right?
Nope. And like I said,
See?
at one point I thought it could have just been like maybe it was just my imagination as a kid or a dream that I had, but just everything in myself is telling me that that was reality, that was real. And when I
Yeah,
remembered it,
no, it was real.
I felt fear. I felt terrified.
Yeah. No, you don't forget things like that. If you remember that now at 30 years old, it was real. You don't have a dream that lasts for 30 years. There's no way. That was absolutely real. Absolutely real. Grace, are you feeling what I'm feeling about that? It was definitely
Yeah.
a real experience.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no doubt. I mean, listen, we don't have these, it seems troubling to
It
you
is.
because it's mystifying and you are being, you're those little memory points are being, I don't want to say the word trigger because other people in the chat said sometimes trigger triggers them. The word trigger triggers them. So we'll say like activated. Your memory has been activated for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
It happens. It
You'll
happens
have,
sometimes in trauma, and things that have been like kind of pushed down and compartmentalized are like being brought to the surface,
yeah.
and because you need to figure it out.
But thank
Absolutely.
you guys for letting me share. I'm going to jump down so someone else has an
Okay.
opportunity to
You're
share their.
welcome. You're welcome, Rains. Take care.
Rains,
And
appreciate
if
it.
I find out any more information, I'll definitely keep you guys in the loop.
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
us up. But do the meditation, do the Christed meditation that I talked about. And with that thing with the voice coming through saying hello, try to figure out what Christ did meditation, ask for Christed beings to always be around you, protect you. And as you're doing that, ask the question through higher self, what exactly that voice was. Because there's obviously something going on. I haven't been able to, that part I can't figure out yet. But I figured out the other part that your parents work for the government on some level.
Yes, so
All right.
true.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate
Good
it.
night.
Great,
I
great, great
appreciate it. Thank you.
sharing. That was Rains. Let me, and that was
That was
something else.
cool.
Wasn't that something else? I mean, everybody
That's
watching
cool.
this, I tune in to things. Well, for whatever reason, I just know that his parents were working for the government. Then there's no way you take your son to a building with people with hazmat suits on, you know? That's no way. There are people that have parents that work for the government that the kids don't even know it, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. Someone in the chat just said, now they might come after you. They
I'm not
got
worried
they
about,
got bigger fish to
look,
fry.
I'm well protected. I've been working in this field since I was old enough to work in this field. Let me also mention another thing. I'm very well protected by the Christed beings of light. I'm a Christed being of light myself. I don't let any negativity get in my consciousness. Not at all. As a matter of fact, if anything, I will throw the negativity on the other side of the universe somewhere.
Somebody
I am.
also asked, Commander, somebody also asked, how do you know? Anchor Ann said, how do you know? I don't know what that means. What do you mean
How do
by
you know
how?
what?
Yeah,
We
how
can
do you
answer
know what
Grace
is
and I will
what?
answer the question. The question is, how do you know? How do you know what?
How do you know what? Tell us.
How do you know what? But put it this way.
It's like a
I've
riddle.
actually, let me tell you how protected I am. When
Agents, somebody wrote agents.
a couple of months ago, we sent 2 spaceships from the Ashtar Command. True story. We had reptilians in somebody's below their house in Vermont, and they wouldn't leave the family alone. They had like a little base there or whatever it was. And when I heard the story, I did, and this is all documented. I sent 2 Ashtar Command ships to the place in Vermont. I know the town because it's where I went to college. And in the woods, they had their house, and it's a beautiful area. But these reptilian beings were causing problems. I sent 2 spaceships over the location. We had Ashtar Command people go into the cave, and we forced these reptilians to get off the planet, and they disappeared. Ever since that happened, and then he gave me an update, there's been no problems. So if you think that I'm going to be running around afraid and hide in a cave or somewhere, I'm not hiding anywhere. I'm not afraid of anything. When it comes to this thing with the spaceships, with the space brothers and sisters, with the Ashtar Command, I'm a warrior of light too. That's the other part of it. I'm ready to bust the matrix. I don't care what government agents are listening. I don't care who they are, because they're basically of no importance to me. When you tell the cosmic truth, you don't care about anything else but the truth, and the truth will set
Absolutely.
you free, right?
Guys, tap, tap, tap. Tap that screen.
Tap,
Come
tap,
on, we gotta
tap.
get
We're
Commander up to those.
17,000. It's almost
What kind of,
1
yeah,
a.m. in the
just
morning.
tap, tap, tap.
You know, let's get
Don't
it
be
going, brothers and
afraid.
sisters.
Oh, that's
Loretta, thank you.
beautiful. Yeah,
You know,
that's so
you get the,
beautiful.
so when you get the commander going on my own part of my story,
Thank
I
you.
know, I don't know, I do not a lot of don't do a lot of sharing, but I'll get into it. I'll get into it if people want to hear a little bit about the commander.
So apparently the Congress is up in arms over the
UAP thing?
yes, and you guys heard me talk about it yesterday.
Yeah. I
Julie
called.
Trans Julie Trans says my tapper hurts, so you guys got to pick up the slack on the tapping.
Let me
Come
let me
on, let
let
me
me say
see you
something.
talk.
I
So,
contacted in Connecticut the two senators in Connecticut, and I told them I called their Washington office, and everybody needs to do this. Contact your senators if they're Republican or Democrat. It makes no difference what party they're in. If they're in the Senate, you need to call them up tomorrow, their Washington offices, and tell them to support Chuck Schumer's UAP bill. The UAP bill, if passed, will allow for things to be released that the DOD doesn't want released. It'll have transparency. So everybody call their U.S. senator tomorrow, find out who your senator is in your state, and call every one of them up in Washington and tell them to support Chuck Schumer's UAP bill. And yeah, everybody needs to do that. I want to hear a resounding yes from everybody in here watching the show that you're going to do that tomorrow. Everybody.
ooh, that was gorgeous. Thank
Susan,
you,
thank you.
guys.
Because that is really what light work is about. That's what being a cosmic being of light is about. That's what it's like when you're not just talking the talk, but you're walking the walk, the UAP bill. So everybody needs to contact their senators in Washington, find out who they are, and contact them. I want everybody to pass the word around to your friends on TikTok, everybody, anybody you know. You know, this is a nonpartisan thing. I'm not involved in politics. I don't care about politics, being
Hmm.
from Mars. I care about this UAP thing being passed because it's going to force the government or the DOD to release information that they're not releasing. And every human being on this planet has the right to know what's going on, you know? And I see
Yeah,
Will saying he's
absolute
still waiting.
truth. Absolute truth, guys.
You
Don't
know,
be afraid to contact your congressmen and your state reps and stuff because
and
people need to
we'll
hear
get Will
what's
on in a minute.
important
I
to
just
you.
got I'm amped up on a roll here, so I've got to finish my thing. And we'll get Will on here.
Get to it, Commander.
You know, so the thing is, and this is the thing that's so important. Like I said, for whatever reason it is. Oh, that was pretty cool, Loretta. Thank you. You know, my connection with Kadar Manka, who's on a spaceship right now, I'm always linked up. I don't channel anything. I've been linked up with him before there was internet, you know, computers and all this other stuff. And in that linking up, when there is a time to do something, you know, if someone tells me they're being attacked by negative ETs, I'll send a ship in that area and have the command go in there, and if I have to do it, they will go in there peacefully, and the brightness of the light of the Ashtar Command, the Christed beings that all Ashtar Command people are from other planetary worlds, will be too much for any of these beings to last, and they have to leave. It's as simple as that. Very simple. So I have the human experience, but I also have the consciousness from off planet. I mean, I have the consciousness of my Martian consciousness, my Ashtar Command, uh, Christed consciousness. And when you work in that apparatus, specifically, you're not afraid of anything. If you need to help somebody, you're going to help them. You know, whether it be being a conduit for the Christ. When I first started on TikTok, I would do healings on here with my hand. I didn't do the healings. The Christ did. I don't take any responsibility for that. I'm in humble service to the mission, pretty much. So when people are thinking about all these things that are happening now, the solar storms are going to get bigger. We just had a big solar storm just the other couple of days ago. The solar storms in 2024 are going to get bigger. They will affect telecommunications devices. They'll affect the whole planet. They're going to affect the human body. They'll affect human consciousness. It's going to happen. And it is happening. And as people understand these things to be true, if you go within and meditate, you will see that there's going to be, you think this year was crazy on a cosmic scale. Wait till we get into 2024, brothers and sisters. Wait till you see what happens then. Because if you think this is a wild ride, you have no idea what's going to be happening next year and the year after that, you know?
That's right, Commander. And think about I mean, over the last few months, some of the stories that people have come on to
Yeah,
share, people are awakening.
yeah,
I feel like the awakening process is a slow process and that it just takes time for us to have attunement. Because if we
mm,
just blew up and woke up all at one shot, we would all be walking around like, what just happened? What just happened?
yeah,
What just happened? What just happened? It's gonna be a slow process and everyone wakes up in their own timing.
yeah. They do.
Um,
Like when I think about the space being, and I've been feeling every time I go live this week, like he wants to speak. And I've been like, okay, but I've been saying in my meditations, I say, okay, can you please wait till Friday night? You know, I know that if the space beings want to come through my TikTok, they can come right through. He can come right through. There would be like a static that would come through the computer, the TikTok, and they will be able to speak. They would be
Commander,
able to just come right through.
are you planning on going to your friend's metaphysical shop on Friday night? Is that what you were planning?
A Friday night? No, we weren't going anywhere Friday night. No, we're going to
Okay. Did
be,
I hear
we're
you
going to
mention
be,
something?
the thing that the metaphysical shop down the road will be when when John Connors comes through the opening, we want to call it the Stargate. He's almost there, and we're going to plan a date to go live on a weekend during the day
I
in the
see.
shop.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
I've been in the shop. They know what's going on. They're honored to be doing it. And they have a meditation room in the back end of the store, which is where I think we're going to do it. The other possibility is because it's the ley line. So I'm trying to still figure things out. And John and I will figure it out, but he will walk through. We'll have the camera on live on a tripod, and I'll stand back far enough so I have no idea what's going to happen when he walks through the Stargate onto the other side. I've never experienced it, but I do know for the sake of being careful, I will be back far enough so just to make sure that, something weird doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
you don't
Stargate.
disappear on us, Commander.
Well, I don't want to disappear onto another planet, when we do this thing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I want to get Will on. He's been requested to come on here.
What's going on,
Uh,
Will? Will's got
hey,
some
Will, we'll bring him on.
information.
I just had to get this all out there. So the Stargate thing, and good evening, Will, or good
Hey, how
morning,
is everybody?
is good, good. And if the Stargate thing happens the way it's going to happen, again, like I've never experienced this particularly myself,
Yeah.
but I also know that the device that John Connors has just about finished will be bringing him into the coordinates of where I am on the planet here, and that we don't get zapped up onto Mars or Jupiter or some other planet, and people say, "Well, where did the commander go? Where did John go?" They're
Well,
live on TikTok. Nobody's there.
but
That's not that. I don't think that's going to happen, but
no.
we're going to make sure that he comes through safely, and it's going to be basically, to me, it's going to be the most historic event on the planet when he
Right.
comes through the portal into the store and crosses over and then goes back home.
I just was going to bring that up about you saying, he heard from the static from his phone. And kind of when I think about that, if you've watched the Superman movie that we all watched, and I got other more stuff where your last guest came from, two things I was going to talk about. I think it's very possible for them to like interact with. They were like looking for Kal-El, and he's like he comes through everybody's TV in the signal, and he's like static comes everywhere, and he's like,
Yeah,
well, you have somebody on this planet. And I thought that was very. I watched that recently, and it just I don't know, it brought me to something
yeah,
like what your last guest was talking about. But I don't know if that
yeah,
could absolutely that could absolutely happen in our planet. I mean, who knows? But my thing was about the hazmat suits. I
yeah.
remember a
That's the
friend of
thing.
mine that is in top secret. Um, okay, there's a hospital in San Antonio, and I think it's on Medical Drive, and I think it's called BAMC
Hmm.
Hospital. Anyway, he was working there, and they have the elevator. Well, there's a lady that put the key under, like, turned the key one way and left or somebody left the key in there, and there's a basement under there, and he saw hazmat suits, people in hazmat suits. They had to spray him, and there was all kinds of, he actually had to
Really?
get sprayed. Do you know what I mean?
Was this in a hospital?
Yes. Yeah. Under a hospital, secret stuff.
Under a hospital, like, so this
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
a
They have a
secret, kind
secret
of a
floor that
secret.
people don't know about. Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
All
pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. Pretty crazy to think about. But I just
Well,
wanted to bring that up, and they were in
yeah.
hazmat suits, but he wasn't allowed to tell anyone about
Well,
it.
this is
He
the
told
thing
me
with the
about it
person we
though.
had on, Will Rains, is that the fact that he was a kid and they went to a building
Hmm.
and his parents said there's nothing to worry about. I do believe his parents are connected on some level of secret government operations.
Absolutely. But it just reminds me of how much we don't know that is going on under our hospitals and
Yeah.
underground and stuff.
Yeah, we don't know. We really don't know anything. Well, we can reveal the truth, but we don't know what's going on under. You're right. There's so many things we don't know.
Mhm.
That's all over the place. But on Encounters, we're
Yeah.
going to find the cosmic truth out here. We're going to
Okay.
reveal the secrets. We're going to
And
talk to people from over the world, and Will, that we're going to get to the truth, and we usually do.
right, right. And he was told not to tell anybody, but he got sick down there from the C word in 2020. Just to let you
Yeah.
know, the
Wow.
variant could have been under the hospital, and it infected people from. I'm not saying that it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying it came from the United States. I'm just saying that what he was telling me, he's a Freemason and he knows a lot
Oh.
about caves in San Antonio and things that town has been through. Like, it was really interesting to see some of the stuff he had in his house. Like, you wouldn't believe some of the things he had.
And speaking of believe, Will, we have Alex Montoya. I just was reading his comments. And Alex, welcome to Encounters. I'm CmdrAleon. Grace is our spiritual guidance and co-hosting with me tonight. And I hear that I was just reading your comment, you were abducted in 2021 at Mount Baldy, California on Christmas Eve. Can you share information with us about what happened?
Yeah, so I was in Mount Baldy in California, and I was in the mountains sleeping. I was homeless. So I was living in my car at the time. And around midnight, um, the next thing I remember waking up, I remember it being midnight, me falling asleep, and the next thing me waking up, I was in a spaceship, and I was hooked up to these machines, and I didn't see any beings, but I was hooked up to these machines, and they were extracting body fluids from me.
Oh
Um,
my God.
um, and then after that, I knew it was real because when I woke up, I had like a gooey substance on me,
Yeah.
and because I knew it wasn't a dream, it was real.
No, it was definitely real. I mean, you would know if it was a dream. And you never got to see the beings on the ship at all, correct?
No, but I was on I was like on like a like a metal grid type of bed, but I do got to say that nothing hurt me. Like, I wasn't in any pain. I didn't feel scared, and
Hmm.
none of that stuff happened to me. Like,
That's interesting. Did you feel that it was a positive experience or that you were taken without your consent?
I feel it was positive.
It was positive. Interesting.
Yeah.
But you never got to see the beings that took you on their ship.
No, and then
Hmm.
several years later, I was brought up into a spaceship, and I seen these two beings, and then they showed me this little girl, and they told me that this little girl was my daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and they said that they have to they have to show you, because I guess they took bodily fluids from me, created a daughter with half of my DNA and half of their DNA. They
Wow.
created a new being, and they said, "This is your daughter," and that was it. That was they. I got to see her for like 1 second, and that was it.
Wow. Yes. So they created a hybrid with your DNA with her DNA with
Yep.
the being, the other.
Yep.
Interesting. So when you saw the daughter, what did she look like?
She looked like she was really short, and she had like her skin was glowing, like kind of like a light bulb,
Hmm.
like a bluish
That sounds more like
colored, like a bluish
bluish
colored light
color.
bulb.
Uh, so what did they look like? Because obviously, if you saw your daughter, you saw them too at that point.
They look like light beings, like they were made out of light.
Light beings.
Yeah.
I'm getting that. Yeah, that's why you didn't have a negative experience. That's why she glowed, because she was truly integrated with human DNA, but she was a light being. Very interesting. Very interesting. Were the other beings, were they both male and female, or were they
Yeah,
one sex or the other?
one was a male and one was a female, and then they said, "We need to show you your daughter," and then they moved to the side. They moved to the side a little bit, and then showed me this little girl, and they said, "This is your daughter," and that was it. It was real quick, and
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, I
Get
would
it.
say, just
Yeah.
reading her energy, that was a beautiful experience. You weren't abducted. You were basically a contactee, and for whatever reason, you didn't feel any fear, and you didn't feel like they were hurting you or anything. Evidently, something magical happened in your particular case, I think.
Did
yeah.
you get a sign that you might see them again, if or see her again, or anytime?
Hmm.
Like,
No, they no. I since I've only seen her one time, but
when
since
did
then
that happen?
I
What
haven't
year?
had any experiences.
Or what year
Did
did
they
that happen?
say? Did they say, Alex, where they were from? Like, did they say what star system, what planet, where they were actually from?
You know, I remember them showing me like a star map of showing me where they were from, but I wouldn't know where it was if I seen it again.
Yeah, yeah. Very interesting story.
Yeah. What year was that
Hmm.
in? Sorry.
Where are you from in the world, Alex?
In California.
Okay.
California. Okay. And did this actual event happen in California?
Yeah, it happened in California, Mount Baldy, on Christmas Eve.
Whoa.
Okay. Are you in like a desert area, or is it more built up, or
It's like city.
a city? Okay, interesting. So when they took you on the ship, how did that happen?
Well, I don't remember how that part happened. I just remember going to sleep and then waking up in the ship.
Ah, interesting. So you were sleeping. So when you were sleeping, they took you on the ship. Is most likely what happened.
Yeah, they took me on the ship, and I remember waking up because I remember being my back feeling cold,
Hmm.
and that's why I woke up, and I was like, I wasn't in fear or nothing like that, and then
Yeah.
I just was just looking around and just accepted it, and I just accepted it as like, oh, I guess I got abducted.
Yeah, well, those were definitely light beings. I would say that you can probably, in your dream state, if you meditate, and this is because of what you're telling me, if you ask in your dream state, and again, the whole thing with the Christed beings to protect you is important, but I would ask them where are they from, and I'm sure that you can communicate with them before going to sleep telepathically, ask where they're from, and you could have and facilitate a sense of contact with them. But you'd have to really hone in on it if you really wanted to do it. I would suggest try doing some meditations, go within, and you know, ask them where they're from as you meditate. you get into that state of consciousness, ask them, do you still remember me? Are you there out there somewhere? The space people that took me on their ship, hopefully they would come back and at least share who they are. I think that's
Yeah.
really something you would hope would happen.
I also had another experience in 2020
Mm-hmm.
where I was home alone and there was a reptilian looking alien in my room shining these
Hmm.
green lasers on me.
Hmm.
And all I said was Jesus' name and it disappeared.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Always use Jesus' name, and that's how you protect yourself from all these other types of lower vibrational beings from off world trying to interfere with you. They don't like the fact that you would say Jesus Christ or, when you say Jesus Christ, that's very powerful from a cosmic perspective. And that's how you can protect yourself. The beings on board the ship with the little dear child, they come from a very high frequency. Um, I'm not sure where they're from. Were they about? I'm going to think. Give me a moment. I'll tell you how tall they were. The beings, the man and the woman with the child on the ship. I'm getting about 6.5 to 7 feet tall. Correct?
Yeah, they were pretty tall,
Yeah, they were.
but
They were
the
six and
daughter
a half,
was short.
more 7 feet tall. I'm getting.
Yeah, but the daughter was short.
She was short. Yeah, well, she's a little
Yeah,
kid, but they
she
were
wasn't
about
even
7 feet tall.
she wasn't even that old.
Hmm.
She was only like a few years old, but she
Yeah,
could
she's a
walk.
little kid.
Yeah, she could walk and everything.
Yeah, but when that little kid becomes an adult, and in their particular realm of frequency, she will become an adult very quickly. She will be probably as tall as they are when she's fully grown.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very much so. And I keep getting that they're connected with the Arcturian star system. I'm getting they're part of the Arcturian area. I keep getting a vision of them being Arcturian in some sector of the Arcturian star system.
They look like they were made out of like some kind of gel. Like they had like a jelly looking body. They had
Jelly looking body. That's interesting.
they had like two legs, two arms, and a head, but their skin looked like it was like gel, but they had like light inside of them that made them glow.
Right. Though that's why they're light beings, because their bodies are translucent.
Yeah, they were translucent.
That's right. That's what the light beings are. They're translucent, men and women. And they do have families, the light beings. We have to figure out, we have to understand as a human being, we have a very solid physical body. But other beings don't have to be solid like us to have children. And they are translucent beings.
Yeah.
So very interesting. I appreciate your story. We're getting up to about 1:30. I think it's time to close for tonight until tomorrow night, which will be on at about 11. I want to thank Grace for doing such great work with us and
Thank
helping
you,
people like
everybody. Thanks,
Brains.
Commander.
Alex, I think
It's a
I'm following you.
pleasure.
I want to make sure I'm following you. Yes, I am. And I want to thank everybody for being on the show tonight. Tomorrow night, we'll have another broadcast of Encounters. Friday night, please share the video on my main page about Friday night. Everybody share the video. There's 146. You'll see the video on my main page on the top of the screen where you see Earth. Press that button. You'll see the video. It's for about Friday night's contact with the space people. So we're going to have direct contact with the space people. John Connors and I are like a human galactic antenna. When we come together, we're going to facilitate communications on the show. Harmony, just for a moment, and then we're going to sign off in just a moment. We'll bring you on as our last guest here, calling it a night here on the East Coast
Hey,
at about 1:23 a.m. in the morning.
can you
Good
hear me?
evening or good morning.
Can you hear me?
Like a little bit.
Okay, that's what I wanted to check because for some reason it
You
wasn't
sound really really low.
right. That's what I don't understand. Here, let me try this real quick.
Oh, I think you're having microphone problems. This is Encounters. Oh, nope. There's some microphone problems happening.
Is that better? Is that
Nope,
better?
it's still low.
Here,
A
let me.
little bit. Hey, John. So we're gonna have let's have you on tomorrow night when we get on at 11, so we can get you on and have a little more time. Plus the audio problem. There's an audio problem there, so I'm not quite sure what's going on.
It's so weird. Okay, now it's working. It's so strange. Like, of
Now
course,
I
now
can
it
hear you. Go
works.
ahead. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Ah,
Well, I just
John
wanted
was
to.
with Getico. Okay, so John was with Getico, and we're going to find out more about that when I get him on live. And like I said, we're going to be facilitating the communications. Like I said, John is the transmitter, I'm the receiver. And
Good night,
yeah,
guys.
and Harmony, go ahead. Mention what you want to mention before we call it a night here for this evening.
Well, first of all, okay, there it goes. Now it's highlighted
There you go. Now
blue.
I can hear you.
It's so strange. Okay, I won't keep you. Nothing. You guys were talking about a transparent object, like a figure, and I was trying to elaborate on that. I can do it later.
Ah,
But for now, I just wanted to come up and see if my device was gonna work.
yeah.
Now it's working.
No, it's
So
working
yeah,
now. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, if
Good.
you're tired, and I don't want to keep you and keep
Yeah.
on. So, I'll share tomorrow night if you'll have me up.
Yeah.
Um,
I definitely will. And
okay.
John's just mentioning it's all, I can't wait to get John on here live. Um, so we're going to have our space people from the Star System Sirius on Friday night. John should be getting his privileges back by the 7th. What's today's date? Today's the 5th. Tomorrow's the 6th. So by Thursday, John, come on when you get your visual thing back, and we'll kind of give people. You can share information about the space being, and then on Friday we're going to have the space being on live on the show. So this is going to be a very important event because we are facilitating a relationship with these space people on their ship from the constellation Sirius. So we're very excited to have all of you watch what's going to happen, what's going on. So I want to go to sleep because I think I'm a little bit tired.
Thank you, Julie. Another day. My mic wasn't working, but now it is. So he has to leave now. So you can hear me later, okay? But thank you for saying
Yes,
that. I
absolutely,
appreciate it.
Rachel. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Good
Thank you
night,
for all the
everyone.
gifts. And thank you, Grace, again. We'll be on tomorrow night around 11. This has been Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. Thank you for the lemonade. That might keep me awake. I appreciate that.
Peace out,
That
everyone.
was sent
Bye.
by Loretta. Thank you, Loretta. All right, we're out of here, folks. Take care. You can watch this show on my YouTube channel. I'll be putting it on there tomorrow. And that's it. We'll catch you later.